Hi, everybody. Hope all of you doing really, really well. I'd like to welcome you to yet another podcast of Andropic presenting to you mic testing with me, Gavin Phillips. Today, we have with us in our studio a very special guest, a champion, a diva. Not only this, but India's first IFBB Pro in women's figure category. Also, a virologist and an amazing human being. Let's all welcome everybody's favorite, strong and sweet, Deepika Chowdhury. Okay, hi Deepika, a very warm welcome to Andropic presenting to my testing, and I'm really, really happy to see you here.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
One question, which is not on my mind, but is on everyone else's mind. Where have you disappeared? Where have you gone? Every fitness event, we are so used to seeing Deepika Chowdhury. And all of a sudden, we're not to be seen anywhere. What is the story behind it?
Wow. Your podcast starts with a supernova. uh, didn't I don't know if I should call it disappear or something, but to answer your question really specifically, now I've shifted to Germany. I was thinking between the US and Germany, but I decided on Germany. So yeah, I'm there now, and that's all.
So you've taken retirement from the sport, or he's taking a break?
No, it's not a break. It's a very well thought decision. And in 2019, after Tampa Pro, I decided competitive bodybuilding is, I'm done with it. With all due respect. And yeah.
Did something happen at that event at Tampa Pro that made you come to a decision that you want to retire at that point of time?
It was not something that Tampa Pro did or something, but it was a process which was going on in my head for a long time. I think after Arnold Classic 2017 that this thought was there in my head. And some questions like, why am I doing it? And, those kind of questions. And then maybe in 2019, it was clear to me that maybe it's time to find balance and stop chasing. And
But wasn't it your dream, like, to go ahead and compete like in the pro show and then take it ahead, because you've been competing abroad, because with that when you won your pro card, you won it in US. You didn't, because that time in India there were no pro shows.
yeah,
Now apparently it's become very easy apparently for all the athletes to compete, get a pro card, compete in the pro show. It's become very easy, and athletes do it. So your time was really very difficult,
yeah,
and a lot of people didn't know about it as well.
yeah.
So how was that process of you, trying to get yourself to such an amazing level that people didn't know about it? I still remember when I met you and I said, "What is this IFBB Pro card? I'm not aware, but what is it?" And then you still said, "Oh wow, it's that amazing."
Yeah.
So how was your overall struggle of, competing, going country to country, and then just getting that pro card? How was it?
Okay. I don't know how elaborate my answer should be and from where exactly I should begin with, but I would say I was in a. So I think that I'm a molecular biologist, and I worked with National Institute of
Right.
Virology as a
Yeah.
technical officer.
Right.
And that was the time when I was kind of struggling with my family life and my professional life as well. That was the time when SARS had come to India, and I had to work like not just me, but my lab and all the scientific staff around me. We had to work for about 12 hours, 14 hours a day, and my health was deteriorating. And I was just recently married at that time, and then I was also trying to balance the
Balance.
family up, and my health was in a really, really bad shape. And when the SARS came to an end, I had lost weight, I was weak, all those things. And then somebody suggested that I should start going to the gym, to gain
Right.
my health back. And I went to the gym, but I was really embarrassed to do certain exercises like squats, okay, chest up, and push your butt back and all these things. And I was kind of shy and embarrassed, like, "Ye kya chal raha hai? Kyun kar rahe ho main?" And I was shying off from doing all those things. And but the manager of that gym was really, really, he was a nice guy. I remember his name, Vishal Jagtap was his name. And then he said, how about this? There is a academy here in Pune, and if you have all these questions, how about you go and learn? And the academy was K11 Fitness Academy. And this was year 2011, maybe 2010, 2011. And then I joined the academy. I started learning sports science, and I got interested in sports nutrition. And during this time, Sheru brothers, they invited pro athletes in India.
Right.
And that was the first time that I saw what bodybuilding is, especially women. And that was the time when I saw Shannon Day, who is the owner of Functional Fitness, walk into the seminar hall and give a seminar. And that was the first time that I got to know, अरे bodybuilding खाली वो ऐसा वाला bodybuilding नहीं होता, especially when it comes to women. There are categories internationally. There's a bikini category, there's a figure category, there's a physique, there's fitness, and there is bodybuilding. And I got super inspired. And in the evening, I saw the athletes on the stage. And my mind was like,
blown away.
Is this possible? These are like muscle Barbies, like abs and shoulders, huge. And although they were wearing bikini, there was nothing vulgar about it.
Nothing.
I am saying this because as an Indian, we have this, at least back in my days, to see a woman in a bikini you don't see it it's not a normal day.
Right.
Yeah. But there was nothing negative about it. They looked so beautiful, so gorgeous. And although with that muscle and all on their body, it was very attractive to me, that whole thing. And that's when I decided, okay, I want to do this.
Competing.
Yeah. And I wrote to Shannon Day at that time, and she was so sweet. She didn't charge me a penny. She said, you want to learn it? You come to Florida. I went to Florida. I learned whatever I'm supposed to learn with the team. I became part of the team. And in 2013, if I remember correctly, was my first show.
So you met Shannon Day, you saw her in 2011.
I think so.
And then you got associated with her, and then you went to meet her in Florida, and then your first show was 2013, in 2 years.
So it took me 2 years to prepare for my show. Before that, I was working out, but not with diet and all. I was just learning.
I see.
Yeah, I was learning, and I was learning with K11. But in 2000, when I met Shannon Day, is what I got the competitive angle of it. And 2013, towards the end of it, was my first show. And that's how it started. 2016, I got my pro card. I competed 5 times in the US, NPC, and I won all my shows. And that was a record, which then convinced International Federation of Bodybuilding to give me a pro card. And I became the first Indian female to get this pro card in figure division.
Wow. I think a lot of people don't know about it, and if you know about it, we really appreciate you, and I'm honored to have you here, because it's not always you get the first Indian to win an IFBB Pro card sitting across the couch. So this is the middle of the show, but thank you very much for being here with us.
Thanks a lot.
So the year 2013, when you jumped on the stage for the first time after being trained by Shannon, how was it? What first time on an international stage?
It was amazing. I don't know. See, your question is not really easy, okay? Especially the phase that I am into in my life, where you think, and then it's not a simple, oh wow, it was amazing. Right. Now comes the tail of it, meaning, why were you feeling amazing, and what pushed you in the first place to choose something like this? And I think that was the phase when I was trying to find out what am I good at. And I was trying, how is it to be known? Like your existence being registered, people knowing you, being like kind of an approval or acceptance. So I think I was kind of chasing that in that phase of life. And when I won, I was like, I am good at it. Yeah, I am good at it. And then I got hooked to that feeling, and I wanted to explore it even more.
Right.
So when I started with this goal. How would it be when I see myself in the mirror and I would see my abs? It started with that.
Right.
Then how would it be, how this would be when, I see myself with muscular shoulders like I saw those women.
Right.
It all started with that. Till that first show happened, Mr. Steve Weinberger was the judge of this show. And I was also lucky in a lot of ways, to be very honest. When I won that show, being judged by such a judge, there is where I got this dream that I want to be pro. And then it was not in my head that I want to be a pro.
Correct.
It was only abs and shoulders and going on the stage.
That's what it is.
But winning that gave me another goal, which
Give you motivation to go ahead, go ahead.
And I was like, I want to be a pro.
Right.
No matter what.
Right.
And I was so pumped. I thought, this is all that I want to have in my life, really. And then all my diet, morning to night, this was this one thought. There was no doubt, zero doubts. And this is something that I would like to push in here because of my experience, personal experience. I am not really sure if you want to achieve something which is difficult, so to say, for wherever you have started with. I don't know if you can achieve something like that with keeping balance in your life. I am not sure. I think you have to sacrifice that balance. You have to go a little bit more crazy, mad, super passionate, little bit to the extremes. And it's only then, I'm talking only about the mental aspect of it.
Right.
It's only then that
You come close to achieving it.
yes, you may or may not achieve it. But the possibility of achieving it comes once you step that boundary of balance and move towards extremes. That's I think that's what I did. And yeah, in 2 years' time, towards 2016 is when I got my pro card. The feeling was amazing.
I'm sure a lot of people, after you got the pro card in India, wanted to get pro cards as well. Then they tried everything possible.
Yeah. So back then, as I told you, that there was no figure division for women. There was no such thing that in India you can get a pro card. You had to go outside and compete, stuff like this. I think there were definitely some federations and all through it could do it, but that was not my path. My path was private. And I remember after that connecting to a lot of other athletes, sharing experience with them, and then they also stepped out of their comfort zone and then spend money going to the US or any other countries that I am not aware of, but they also started pursuing this route, and today they are quite successful and beautiful athletes.
So in today's world, if any girl would like to step up and be a part of any competition in fitness, what would you say to them? What would be your words of motivation to them?
Okay.
Knowing that we live in a male-dominated society.
Yeah. But again, whatever I'm answering now is based on what I think now in this phase of life.
Okay.
This is my personal opinion.
Right.
People need not
Judge.
accept, or it's up to them. They want to take it or leave it. See, there's a difference. Bodybuilding and competitive bodybuilding. I personally believe everyone, when they are ready, maybe even in their school days or something, everyone should do bodybuilding.
Okay.
Each and every individual should do bodybuilding.
Okay.
Because there is this hardcore science-based fact that bodybuilding, through resistance training, it contributes lowering all the factors which leads to mortality or morbidity, longevity. It promotes longevity. So in every sense, bodybuilding is beautiful. When it comes to competitive bodybuilding, the story is a little bit different. So I would suggest now to come to your question specifically. When somebody wants to begin with this competitive bodybuilding, they should know why they are doing it. Not because they saw social media, they saw nowadays influencers or celebrities on social media, they kind of embody success, beauty, those kind of factors. And if you're influenced by that, and that's your reason to compete, then I'm not very sure of that. That should be the logical step. In psychotherapy, I heard that there is this four-box system that one should opt for when you're taking big decisions in your life. And then maybe you should sit and make those boxes for yourself and answer yourself, why do you want to do bodybuilding? What are the pros that you think comes with it? Competitive bodybuilding. Why don't you want to do competitive building? Like, what do you think are the cons of it? What are the disadvantages if I compete? Yeah. What are the disadvantages if I don't compete? I repeat myself. What are the pros of if I compete? What are the cons of if I compete? What are the disadvantages if I compete? And what are the disadvantages if I do not compete?
Right.
You make a list of it. And then you take a logical decision whether you want to walk on this path or not.
Right.
You cannot walk this path with doubts in your head. If you decide you want to compete, go for it, but like 100%.
Correct.
You cannot think, मैं ऐसा थोड़ा balance करके चलूँ तो मैं थोड़ा अगर मेरा budget और मेरा ये और मेरा वो, that is not going to help you. You have to go like
Full on.
full on.
Or else no point in going there.
Is what I believe in.
No, you're right.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Yeah. So if you're ready for it, if you are ready to push your comfort zone, if you're ready to see the consequences of it, maybe when I say consequences, I'm talking about relationships, I'm talking about finances, I'm talking about your job, whatever it takes. If you're ready for it, go for it. But if you have doubts, the results will be accordingly. If you're happy with mediocre,
Right.
then you go with your doubts. But if you want to achieve something bigger, I think it has to be a clear clarity in your head, and then you walk this path. Otherwise, don't.
If I want to compete, maybe in the next year, maybe in a year, I want to be on stage competing. What is one thing that I need the most besides focus? And I know, okay, I want to be there. I want to do that. I have 100% to deliver it. What is one thing that I need besides my focus from the outside world, from someone I need? What is one thing that I need?
There is not one thing that
One thing on top of the list. When you make a list of one thing, this is one thing that I need. I can't go without it. Okay, I need a cycle. Cycle ki wala to hoga hi nahi for any man or a woman if you want to be competing on a platform, on a stage. But besides that, what else will be needed?
About the cycle thing also, maybe we should talk a little bit about it. But I think you need a coach.
A good coach who has good knowledge.
Yes, who is experienced in bringing up athletes,
Right.
who have worked with athletes and who has a solid academic
Right.
background as well as experience of working with athletes belonging to this particular sport. So I think a good coach plays a big role.
Very vital role.
Why is that? Because then a coach is able to put you in the right direction. Also, what shows you should pick. This is very important.
Right.
You can't just randomly go and start.
A coach is not someone who just going to tell you, "Ki ye kar, wo kar, ye diet kar, ye workout kar, do this, do that." He will also make sure you go and compete in the right show so that you win those shows or you come close to winning or whatever it is.
Not just that, I think a coach's role is much more than just giving a training plan, maybe help with substances and nutrition, and guide you with the shows. Also, a good coach will also help you stay balanced, like, I don't know, a lot of athletes, I think they go through this when they have self-doubts, when they're either overestimating themselves or underestimating themselves. And it all depends on what kind of people you're surrounded with. Sometimes you look such crap, but you have I would say, a loving and ignorant friend circle around you, or family, and who are like, oh, God, dikh raha hai boss.
correct.
Tu is baat tu hi.
Correct. You get over motivated.
And that's all. And then you lose the practicality of competition,
Right.
and then you start seeing yourself
Different.
different than what the reality is.
Like
Okay.
normally when you see these bodybuilding shows, maybe not in India especially, I've seen a lot of videos of it, where when the MC announces, okay, the winner is, and he takes someone else's name and their name is not there, the anger, the frustration is shown on stage. This off stage because they haven't won. I think because everyone around them tells them that you are the best. Tu hi jeet ke aayega.
Yeah, that is love. I get it, where it comes from. But a coach will always show you the right picture. A good coach.
Right.
That's his duty, and I think athletes should also stop, जैसे शॉपिंग के लिए जाते हैं ना, तो वैसा कोच के साथ शॉपिंग मत करो. Like, you allow that coach, someone to really work with you for some time. Give him some time to understand your body,
Everyone is different.
your habits, yes, your pattern, how your body responds before you compete, after you compete, like off-season,
Right.
on-season kind of
Right.
thing. And then you decide whether you want to move on to the next coach, if your wavelengths are not, whatever those things.
Correct.
I think
Correct.
a coach really plays a big role if you decide on competitive bodybuilding. You will not waste a lot of years.
Correct.
Trial and error.
If you have the right coach, I think it won't take time for you to get close to achieving your dreams.
Yeah, you can say that.
So you know what? I think India में 2018 में I think pro shows, नहीं pro cards देना start हुआ है. 2018 onwards.
Yeah, the athlete community should really be grateful to Sheru and Amrish, Sheru brothers, for making this happen. Because athletes who have competed outside, they know the expense
Right.
of going outside. US is like daddy when it comes to bodybuilding. When you go there, I am really blessed. I have always had great experience competing there. I have made super friends, right from Jermanian to say Steve Feinberger, to all these beautiful people who I have all positive things to talk about them.
Right.
Even the coaches that I worked with, especially Shannon Day. But then when it comes to finances and the amount of time that you invest coming and going,
Right.
और इतना ही टाइम अगर आप इंडिया में देते हो, कितनी बार आप यूएस चले जाओगे? You
Yeah.
can't leave your job and family and then settle
No, it's not
there.
just about going to US. It is about going, your travel cost, your staying cost, your food cost. When you're staying in US, your traveling cost within the city
Yes.
is insanely amazing.
And then
And then
see, I've always traveled alone. And then you have to go through all these things alone. So there is a little bit of extra stress, of
right.
added stress of doing all of that. Sheru and Grish brought this whole thing to our land.
Absolutely.
It's a huge thing. People who have not competed outside, they don't even know.
They don't know how it
They
is.
don't even know how much
Absolutely.
stress has been taken away.
Absolutely.
So this is something that
You know, I think let me just make this point and see if it is going to make some sense here. A lot of people have questions that we're paying so much money to compete. Agree, you're paying money to compete. But the pro shows, earning a pro card wasn't even introduced to India. Athletes will have to go abroad and compete. How many athletes will actually take that effort to go outside India to compete?
not just that. See, I'll talk again. I'm repeating myself. I understand this, but athletes like me and the other athletes, we were in this kind of a situation where we wanted to compete. We were passionate. We made a decision.
Right.
Then whatever money was required, we managed to get that money. We managed to travel. We managed to compete. We never complained. I don't remember any of those athletes that I know of, they ever complain. Why do you complain? Do it.
Correct.
You have taken a decision.
Correct.
Your decision is to compete.
That's what.
Not complain.
Correct.
Do it. You're wasting your energy.
Right.
And if you can't take it, nobody is coming with the whole invitation letter and folding hands.
Please compete.
Mat karo.
Correct.
So stop complaining and use that energy in doing the best that you can.
Right.
That's it.
Right. So you're seeing, because of Mr. Sheru and Hemant Agrish, the platform that has been given to the Indians is immensely amazing.
I say this because I know the difference.
Difficulty.
So that's why I think the athlete community who chose to use this platform here in India, they should be really, really grateful that it is at your doorstep.
So, see, when you're competing in India, it's easy because hometown. I'm saying you get everything around your food. Maybe your friends in any parts of the country, wherever you have to go and compete, whether it's an NPC show or whether it is an Olympia amateur or Sheru Classic. But when you're traveling abroad, food becomes a criteria as to what, how, why, when, where am I going to get, where am I going to be staying, what do you call, mall is nearby where I can get some food. Well, how was that thing of you when you were abroad and you were going to compete and you had to have your right nutrition? I mean, that food over there is extremely expensive than compared to India.
I never bought any food there. This is what I did. My coach from Mountain Fitness, they used to give me my plan, nutrition, the last week का plan ना, and I used to go there 5 days ahead. क्योंकि जब आप इतना travel करते हो flight वगैरह से, so there is water retention, a little bit of travel stress and all, so your body, it takes some time, jet lag वगैरह to compensate all of that. Plus the food thing, तो जो भी plan में रहेगा, I used to prepare it a day before my travel date.
अच्छा.
और फिर उसको freeze कर देने का.
Correct.
So I used to freeze it, and I had a container, a plastic container. और जाने के पहले, then you use gel ice packs.
Okay.
दूसरी वाले ice packs allowed नहीं रहते हैं.
Okay.
So you use gel ice packs. You put the frozen food according to all your 5 days till your competition day, and that was there with me. 24 door to door 24 hours मुझे लगता था US पहुंचने के लिए, almost 22 to 24 hours. और then you put this food in the refrigerator, available in the hotel, and this is what I consumed.
Okay.
That was my way.
You take on nutrition, training, everything together to work together as a team. We were saying about it.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying, that you cannot really say that only training is important, only nutrition is important. That it's just a combination. Your macronutrients, your micronutrients, your what all supplements do you really need, what you don't need, how much training, the intensity of it, the volume of it. Also, when it comes to bodybuilding, competitive bodybuilding, it's also about the whole flow of your body. Na?
Right.
Like you cannot just say, "मेरे को arms पसंद है तो मैं arms करूँगा." Then it doesn't something which is not working. Then it has to be a complete package, a complete flow of your body, and that's where again a coach comes into play, where a coach can see where exactly you need to improve, what are body parts maybe you should be training at a little lower intensity or volume or frequency, and increase for the other body parts, so on and so forth.
So at the end of the day, you look well when you're on stage.
Yes, you look a complete package according to your whatever category that.
So out of all the shows that you've competed in, which show you may say you've gone with the complete package?
I would not say a complete package in any of the shows, but I think I was my best at Anand Classic, Australia. I think that was.
How was the experience competing it in Anand Classic? Because
it was crazy. Come on. I mean, I had never even imagined that I'll be sharing the stage with the Olympians. Yeah, right. Like all those women had won. They were the winners of Olympia, and I I was traveling in a bus with Oksana and, all these famous Olympian girls. Those videos that I had seen and watched while I was training. And today I was sharing the bus with them. Today I was uh, competing on the same stage with them. It was just something else. I was very happy.
You just started off saying that, in 2000, I think 2011, when Sheru Classic started happening in India, when you saw these women on stage.
It was not Sheru Classic. I think it was just it was Sheru Classic. I'm sorry. Yeah.
I think it happened in Pune and Balewadi.
No, Delhi.
Okay.
Yeah.
So when it happened in India, you saw those women on stage and you said, wow, they look beautiful. And a few years later, you're in the bus with the same women who you might have seen on stage, an Olympian who when actually a lot of us, in fact, follow a lot of big athletes, Olympian athletes, and top known athletes. And when you get to see them in reality, it's something really amazing. Seeing them is amazing. Competing with them, I'm sure, is a total different experience that I think none of us in this room can share except you.
No, it was, you get to see the other side of these athletes. Like I specifically remember I was doing this New York Pro show and I was in the gym. Sadiq saw me. I was on the treadmill and Sadiq was talking to his friend. He saw me. Who am I? Nobody. At that time, I was nobody. But I had met Sadiq once or twice during the shows. He walked up to me. Spoke to me, wished me all the luck. And Sadiq was like, but at that time he was like on the top. There was no need for this person to walk up to me who is a nobody and then, say a few words to motivate me or to say good luck to me. So was Guy System, I mean, I'm giving you a few examples of these people who you see the human side of them, and you see that they're so much fun and they're so encouraging, although you don't meet them on everyday basis, but they have been supportive.
So when you were competing, a lot of Indian athletes you were in touch with, I'm sure of it. Which Indian athlete motivated you the most? Boost, give you that boost. Yes, the boy can do it. You can do
I
it.
was not in touch with anybody when I started. I didn't even know who all are into this field competing. I was just doing my own thing.
Right.
It's during this that I made friends with.
Right.
That's how. And when I made friends with, this is what happens, no? Then your friends inspire you. Whether it was Sonali Swami, or it was Yashmin, or it was Navneet Josen, even you go to South, Ankita Singh, and all these, Kiran Demla, all these beautiful people, when you come, you speak to, I might be missing some names as I'm talking to you because I'm not in that flow right now. But when you meet these women, they all have their own stories.
Right.
And they all are motivating, so they all are inspiration and they all are motivating in their own forms and shades.
Now, moving to the other side of a story of being a competitive bodybuilder is something that every athlete has to go through, is on being on cycle, being on steroids. What is your take on it? Is it meant, if I want to start competing tomorrow, can I just start taking steroids? Or do I have to go through the process of getting the right coach who will lead me into the right way of taking steroids?
Yeah, see, this topic is also something which takes another whole new podcast is required, a whole new episode is required. It's a topic which is misunderstood on a grand level, okay? And I understand that. Why? Because how many people from fitness community come from a scientific background? I don't think many. I was fortunate that I am coming from a science background, so I understand bits and pieces into it. So this question, it has several aspects to it when we talk about it, but let's try to cut it down. I will try. See, competitive bodybuilding is almost a century-old sport. Yeah, I think the first Mr. America or something started in 1938, first Olympia in 1965. It has been years into this, okay? And we all know that there are substances involved. AAS, these androgenic anabolic steroids, they are involved. About, you can say, 40 to 75% usage when it comes to men bodybuilding, and about 20 to 40% when it comes to female. There is also natural bodybuilding, competitive bodybuilding that we have to consider. So considering all of this. But although the usage has been there for so many years, there's still been myths, confusions around this topic. In 2021, it seems suddenly there was more than 2 dozen deaths happened in 2021. Known bodybuilders around the world.
Right.
And suddenly the fitness community started talking about it.
Correct.
Especially the early demise of bodybuilders now. But all this curiosity and all this this topic or discussion comes from anecdotal case series. It is not epidemiological. Okay. And I can help you with at least 2 articles. I will send it to you, and if any of your podcast listeners are interested in knowing this, one comes from Sports Medicine Journal, and another one is a beautiful article written by Barbara, and it is concise data of the death rate, the mortality rate within bodybuilding community. What Barbara has written is US-based data, but you can still get a picture of it now. And there, if you see the mortality rate in bodybuilders, competitive bodybuilders, it is still much less than if you consider mortality rate of American men in general.
Right.
Also, when you compare it to the other sports, say for example, pro wrestlers, their mortality rate is much higher than competitive bodybuilders. Of course, there is much more study which needs to be done, and this data needs to be, reevaluated and all those things. But when it comes to this concept that anabolic steroids are responsible for high mortality rate when it comes to competitive building, is something that you need to really look into. That's not precise. It is not true, so to say. It is a primary contributor, especially when it comes to cardiovascular ailments and reasons like those ones. But AAS is not the reason for the mortality rate that you see in...
People are assuming it to be...
Yeah, this is the myth which is floating around it. There are other things. For example, the intensity or the volume of training which goes along with AAS, the supplements which are taken along with AAS, the purity of the steroids available, or the purity of the supplements which are available. That is together, if this is studied, then maybe we come to a conclusion that what exactly is the root. Unfortunately, in India, there is, at least not I have come across any such study, but one needs to really look into it. How many deaths are happening? Let's talk only about India.
Take care.
How many deaths are happening within competitive bodybuilding community?
No, so you said there's a cycle. When you take steroids, there's a cycle. The thing that you take along with it for it to function.
You have to, right? Like, have to.
So this all is guided to you by a coach.
Yes.
How
many coaches do you think
are
have
knowledgeable?
medical background? Even people who have medical background, it is not their fault. There are no studies. So what I'm requesting through your podcast is, if there is any research institute out there, please carry out a study. You see what is the mortality rate of competitive bodybuilders in India, age-wise, say for example, their profession-wise, what supplements they're using, what kind of training plan they're doing, what kind of extreme diets that they are following, what are during the competition days, what are the diuretics or those kind of things that they are undergoing. Keep a data of all of this. Also compare it to the other competitive sports.
Right.
There are so many sports where AS is being used, right? Weightlifting or you name it. What is the mortality rate there? If it is low, then why it is so? What is the difference? And when you come up with a concise data with all of this, and you provide it to the community, to the medical community who is helping competitive bodybuilders with competition, they will be able to come up with a more safer approach to it. Saying all of this, yes, anabolic steroids are primary contributors towards whatever the side effects or the ill effects that you see when it comes to competitive bodybuilding, but you cannot really, there is no data, so to say, to relate it directly.
So obviously, when I would like, for example, if I talk to you on Andropic, as I said, is 100% safe to consume. We know a lot about supplements. You have a scientific background as well. When you buy any supplement from the market and you turn the bottle behind, you'll see a wide variety of ingredients put under that particular supplement that you have in your hand. As well as Andropic has only one supplement, and that is one ingredient, and that is fenugreek, methi, right? So, and Andropic has a study saying that it is not just saying it is safe, it has a study that you can read and you can understand that the product is 100% safe to consume. So if there's nothing like, if there's no study in India on Indian drugs that are available, I'm trying to figure out, I'm just trying to think how are athletes consuming stuff or putting things into their body without seeing a study behind it, not knowing if it is going to be good or bad for me.
There are a lot of studies where you see that consuming AAS leads to this super physiological response and increase in muscle mass. It is available. All those studies are there.
Not the first point, the negative point. The
negative point is also there.
Okay.
And, I have just immediately after this podcast, if you want, I can send you that particular paper as well, there where you see the ill effects of consuming steroids. So all these things have been done. What I'm saying is the direct relationship to death is what I'm talking about.
Right.
Athletes also are into, along with taking all these things, we covered the quality and all those things. Along with that, they're also into recreational stuff. They're into nicotine, cocaine, amphetamine, all those things.
So that pushes it to which happens quietly, which people don't know about it.
Yes.
And then it goes on to our
one. Yeah, you cannot just put this. The studies, even with the ill effects of it, they have been done without considering these other factors.
Correct.
So a wholesome study, at least I have not come across. So if there is something like this, then one can talk about it. I again want to emphasize, we are only talking about competitive bodybuilding here,
right,
which is separate from bodybuilding.
Right.
So the message right now here, people who want to compete, please get the knowledge.
Right.
Knowledge is really important, and take an informed decision. Are you sure you want to do this? And then do it, and do it under supervision, and then keep a check on your health report.
So what, for example, just a situation, if you know a guy who's been a competitive bodybuilder, who has been taking these drugs, who's been following whatever he has to follow, and has competed maybe for 7 years, 8 years, 10 years, and he thinks he has the knowledge. Should I follow a coach who has knowledge by what he's done on himself, or should I follow someone who has backed up with the reason? I'm giving you this is the reason, I'm giving this scientific proven reason, which will not lead to anything later or whatever in the long run, then believe someone, That's
a very important topic that you raised here. And that is the reason why you don't see me on social media anymore. I'm not so active there anymore. See, when I started into this field, they were not, the scientific community especially, they were not, their presence was not so much on social media. Lane Norton, I think, had just finished his PhD or something, Eric Helms as well. So these people, they had started coming up on social media, making big on social media. Now there are so many. You have Brad Schoenfeld, you have Huberman, you have Lane Norton, Eric Helms, and all these people, Dr. Mike, then Dr. Gabriel. When you have all these people now on social media, I don't think when I say something, it is coming like it's 100th hand ना. मैंने किसी का स्टडी पढ़ा, फिर मैंने उसको ट्रांसलेट किया और फिर मैं उसको बता रही हूँ. Even the translators, if you listen to Jeff Nippert, for example, he makes it very easy to understand and deliver it to people.
Absolutely.
So there are knowledgeable people, there are experts now who have their social media presence. I don't think I should go there and say something which is like third hand, fourth hand, fifth hand knowledge. I don't think, this is my personal opinion, कि सिर्फ किसी का बॉडी अच्छा तुमको दिख रहा है तो तुमने उसके पास जाना है और उसको पूछना है कि भाई आप क्या खाते हो, आप क्या सप्लीमेंट्स लेते हो, आप क्या वर्कआउट करते हो, फिर मैं वो करना शुरू कर दूंगा. This is a very naive approach.
But this happens very often and very frequently, and it is still happening today. So, if, for example, if I have a bodybuilder who I really like and have amazing physique, and if I know he's been doing it for quite some time, and if I become friends with him, and if he tells me his diet, and he tells me what he's taking, it won't take time for me to say, "Arey, wo lera, who's in there? Body bhi kadak hai. मैं क्यों ना लूं?"
I know.
So,
I know, it's just scary. This is actually scary.
but a lot of people, I'll tell you a small thing. When I used to work out in, I think, 18 or something, the gym that I used to work out at, there were kids. I will say kids because they were 18 years, 19 years old. And I found syringes in the washroom. And pata chala that before workout, they used to inject something into themselves. Why? So they could lift heavy, because the gym trainer has advised them to take those kind of. I'm saying 18-year-old kids injecting some kind of chemicals into their body for what? And I'm not aware of what the substance. It doesn't make a difference because I'm not interested in taking. Just because a gym owner is a bodybuilder says, "तो ये लेने से तेरी body बनती, मैं तेरे को देता हूँ."
Yeah.
And लेते. So it is
Easy scary because, see, there are a lot of things to talk about when we touch this topic. People don't know the amount of, say, for example, hepatitis or HIV. When people, especially kids now, they're using this multiple use vials, and then they're sharing it, or the syringe being shared, the kind of diseases which comes along with it. Those kind of things. Plus, whatever your sources are, God only knows where are they manufactured and where are they buying those things. If how much of this is real stuff and how much of it is contaminated and stuff like this. So all these things are secondary.
See, at that age, when you're 18, 19, you have just one aim, body banana. I will go to any limit to get what I want. And if the guy who's training me is so bulked up and so huge, वैसे body बनेगी तो मजा. When you start off and you go to a gym and you newcomers think that मेरे को body बनाना है, and when some influential guy tells you, "भाई तो ये लेने से तेरी body बनेगी," या even if you hate taking injections, you don't mind injecting things into yourself because वो उसकी तरह body बनाना
मैं वही सोचती हूँ ना, जब आपको एक फोन खरीदना होता है, आप इतना टाइम लगाते हो
क्योंकि वो फोन है, वो फोन है. That is जो मेरे को वो manufacturer I want to showcase. ये दिखावा है. If it is a competitive sport and people are really in love with the sport, they will take it nice and slow, get all the information they need before they do anything or put anything into their body. But a lot of people are there who just do it because they're blinded by things around. It is so glamorous. It is so amazing.
That's the thing, but this is the cost of social media and all those things. I think what we need is awareness, what social media is doing to your mental health, really, especially when it comes to women. The image or your body objectification that women undergo or suffer, where there have been suicide cases, where there are eating disorders and going into severe depression. And all of it are the consequences of all these, using all this Instagram and Facebook. You can use it for positive things as well. What I'm saying is there needs to be awareness, there needs to be education, maybe at school level. Parents needs to undergo some kind of counseling so that they can make their children aware of all of this.
Right. Do female bodybuilders take steroids? And if they do, how does it work on them?
Competitive bodybuilding, again, there is natural bodybuilding, and IFBB also follows WADA code. So I think it's very personal call whether you want to use substances or not. I'm not talking about natural competitive bodybuilding now. And yes, women do use what kind of substances do they use, and it depends on the division that they compete in and the coaches that they are working with, all those things. For example, in my case, Bombshell Fitness, they do not recommend any kind of substance use. They help you with posing and competition, selection of competitions and nutrition and training plans, etc. But they're very clear about it. What athletes do is their personal research.
Correct.
And their own personal findings, and then they opt for it. But yes, women do use, but it's a personal choice. How does it work is something which needs, again, another podcast or so, because I don't know if this is about technical stuff. But
Not going technically about it.
yeah, but there are similar, like it will work on muscle growth and stuff. But being female, the whole hormonal system is so intricate, and then you're playing along with it. So there comes the side effects. Especially in my case, it affected my voice. I did not opt for injectables. I went for oral, and because I had some science background, I drew a line where I thought that, okay, this is my line. But even within that line, the side effects which I got were especially my voice changed. And there were some side effects which were kind of good side effects that I don't think is appropriate.
No.
But then, yeah, it comes with side effects. For some women, they will lose hair or acne and stuff like this. So the side effects are different for different females. But one has to really, really take a very, very well-informed decision when it comes to it, and do it under supervision is what I would say. Being said that, I also observe this pattern in within athletes is that somehow they do not talk about this.
Right.
And I have gone through this myself. I do not know why we want to portray that whatever we have achieved naturally. What is it? Why do we want to, some of us, I'm not talking about all, but I've noticed only few athletes who have been really blunt, super honest about when it comes to substance use, I'm saying.
The very few have accepted it.
Yes, who are honest about it. And I think this honesty is really important, especially for the younger generation. They see you in your photo shoots and on stage and whatnot, and then they think, wow, why am I struggling so much, but somehow I cannot achieve this kind of a physique. And when these athletes are asked about it, then nobody is really touching this particular area. Please be honest.
Right.
If you do not want to give the details, I understand. Say that I do not want to give the details, but don't say
I don't take it. I don't
it's my personal choice.
Right.
I'm saying that this is
Right.
my personal opinion. Be honest about it.
Right.
Like, do not mislead.
Right.
Okay? Or ye kyun hai? Even I fail to understand this. That why do we want to have those compliments? Na wow, kya bani hai?
Correct.
और वो भी naturally.
Correct.
जो है वो बोल के खत्म करो. मतलब उसको धोने में कोई मजा नहीं है.
Right.
There's no fun in it. Just be honest about it. Again, I understand there are legalities and whatever comes under it. You don't want to give the information, the details about it is understandable. But please do not pretend.
Right. Can women take testosterone boosters? Some woman who wants to compete or just wants to, who's into some kind of sport, any sport, can she take the testosterone boosters? Is it needed for her?
Again, see, what do you mean by boosters? Nah? So I think when it comes to testosterone boosters, this is my limited knowledge of whatever I've read. If your physiological levels are below normal, and then if you consume testosterone boosters, there is a possibility that you will come to the normal range.
Correct.
Crossing your going to the super physiological range will mean that you are taking something from outside. Now you are administering, you're taking testosterone or androgenic substances. In competitive bodybuilding, where there is not a very strict check on your drug consumption and all, I think there is a substantial use of steroids of different kinds. Do women have to take it? I don't think so. You can compete without getting into these kind of illegal substances or harmful substances.
Now we're talking about like a normal taste booster, like an andropic. Can a woman consume andropic?
Can? Yes. Can is a question which is about whether, yes, she can.
So what benefits will a woman have consuming andropic?
Andropic is something that I have not really read much about it, but I would suggest there is a very good website, examine.com, and those people, they have detailed studies, unbiased, because studies are mostly when they are sponsored by a certain company.
Right.
The publication is mostly towards it, so you
Right.
have to say what is a scientific that particular research is sponsored by. All this a reader should definitely take an account of. But what all the ingredients are there, one can go to examine.com and get a review, study in detail, and then take a call. Can a woman take it? Yes, a woman can take it. If the physiological range is below, there is a good possibility that they will see positive changes when it comes to it. There is a possibility.
Superb.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're moving on to our next segment. And the final segment in our podcast is going to be a rapid fire.
I am a very, very slow-paced person. Rapid fire is, I don't know. Okay, all right. That's
Okay.
right.
Are you ready?
No.
Yeah. Brace yourself, Deepika. The first question coming to you is, if you have to rank the top best bodybuilder in India on a scale of 5 to 1, who would you do? Sangram Chowdhury, Sunil Jadhav, Guruman, Yatindra Singh, Suhas Kamkar. From 5, 4, 3 to 1. Okay. Who would you say the 5, 4, 3 to 1? Sangram, Sunil, Guruman, Yatindra, and Suhas Kamkar.
Sangram would be my absolute favorite. He's got this beautiful muscle belly and
Right.
a beautiful shape, beautiful human.
Sangram is 1. Second, who do you go?
I'm not aware. I'm not following the others, like what their conditioning is right now.
So I just take 1 into consideration for now, which is going to be Sangram.
Sangram is my top favorite. So,
Okay.
Yeah.
And in the female athletes, who do you think is the most popular?
You are putting me in problem, yeah.
Thank you.
I am not following.
It's okay. Whoever comes into your mind, I'm okay with it. I don't want to question you of that. Why is that person? Just casually. First, female athlete, who do you think is most popular? According,
Popular?
yeah, according to you.
Popular.
To be very, to question a little, the most famous Indian athlete.
I like Yasmin. I like Yasmin Chauhan, her
Okay.
personality and everything. I like what Navreet is doing
Okay.
professionally, also as an athlete. I told you, I like Sonali Swami. I like what Ankita Singh.
Name one, give me one. I think I got so many names. Name one.
Like,
Just like you throw those chips down and pick up one chip. Hey, this is the answer.
I know the recent one, unfortunately.
Okay.
But Tej Pandit is also one that I like. But I would say if you want me, I like Yasmin, I think.
Okay, so let's stick with Yashwin. Super. Okay, you've been working for a very long time. You're still working out. What is your favorite exercise that you love to do?
Deadlift.
Okay, stick to that. What do you suggest to all our viewers? Real food or supplements? If you're in a hurry or if you're competing or if you're just working out, for every kind of a genre of people.
See this, you answered it yourself. Do not go into micromanagement. When you are starting, please hit the right spots first, meaning your nutrition, your training, and a good sleep,
Right.
all these things. And when it comes to nutrition, make sure whatever your requirements are is coming from food,
Right.
like real food.
Right.
And wherever you cannot
Then you
make
put
those
supplements to
requirements,
it.
then you bring in supplements. that too, what supplements do you really, really need? That also you should. I see people taking L-carnitine, glutathione, and what all these smart. How about we start with whey? How about we start with something which is like really researched into creating monohydrate? So these are, or say for example, omega-3, fish oil, stuff like this. So first, food, and then wherever you cannot for some reason,
Then you put it into supplement.
then when you get into supplements, make sure you are having a good quality supplements source. Look
Right.
into the source. All these things are very important.
So, okay. Body positivity, self-acceptance, or getting fit and lean. Out of these three, what do you pick?
There's no one. It's all the three are important. They go hand in hand.
And
You cannot separate them. If you have one and you're missing the two,
okay.
it's not done.
Okay. Now we all know Deepika Chowdhury, the athlete. What kind of a person are you at home? Are you a party animal, or you're a very quiet, sober kind of person? The way that we see you on a camera right now.
Ask my husband about it. I have no idea. But I think I am not a party animal. That's for sure.
Super. Deepika, let me tell you, it's been an honor knowing you. It's been an honor interacting with you. And thank you very much for coming in, mic testing. This has been an amazing, amazing conversation with you. I really loved it.
you.
Thank you so much for giving your valuable time.
Thank
I know you're flying to Germany day after tomorrow, but you somehow squeezed in and you came in to be a part of it. Thank you so very, very much.
Thank you. And also, I'm sending you those articles just in case if
Clear
your
to that.
listeners are interested about this early demise.
Right. Would love to see that one get it or
Yeah.
in the open.
Yeah, and I'm sorry, I'm not very specific when it comes to questions because there are so many things
I
and
mean,
people
that's
just
totally okay. That's totally okay. It was really nice to have you here. Thank you so much, Deepika.
All
Thank
the
you.
best, all the very
Thank you so very much. Thank you.
Yeah.